The Australian Grand Prix was a thrilling affair. Right from the first lap, we saw incidents between cars, and Charles Leclerc drove a brilliant race to convert his pole position into a race victory. Max Verstappen, however, suffered reliability issues and he was forced to retire. But before we get into the highlights, I would like to welcome you to Fervent Motorsports, your pit stop for all things motorsport related. Do remember to like and subscribe so that you don't miss any of our content in the future. Spanish driver Carlos Sainz had a rough qualification. Starter problems for the Ferrari car forced him to start in P9, while many expected him to be in the front row. On Sunday, he was one of the few drivers who started the race on the hard tyres. He got off to a poor start, however, and he lost 5 places by the second lap. He ultimately went off track and beached his car into the gravel trap at turn 10. His teammate Charles Leclerc, however, was flying throughout the day. The driver set the fastest lap and never went below P1 as he duelled with Max Verstappen in Australia. Speaking at the post-race ceremony, he said, "It's one of the first races where we controlled the gap right from the start. It would not have been possible without the car. It was a great car and it's incredible to win here today. It's only the third race, so it's difficult to think about the championship, but we have a strong car." Leclerc now extends his lead in the Formula 1 World Championship by 34 points. Max Verstappen's 2022 season got off to a rocky start. He was once again forced to retire his car due to reliability issues. This means that the current world champion has finished just 1 out of the 3 races so far in the season. His teammate Sergio Perez, however, had an intense race. The Mexican driver never set a foot wrong and he battled with Lewis Hamilton and George Russell to cement his P2 position. After the race, Perez said that it was a great result for the team, but it was unfortunate that they lost Max and the team have been unlucky in the first few races. Mercedes proved that consistency is one of the most important aspects in Formula 1. Both of the cars capitalized on the retirements of Sainz and Verstappen, and George Russell finished in P3 and Hamilton in P4. This means that Mercedes collected the most points in Australia, 27 points in total, and Ferrari collected 26, with Charles Leclerc getting the fastest lap. The Mercedes cars looked to be competitive once again as they gave both the Red Bulls a really hard time throughout the race. This is George Russell's first podium with Mercedes and his second podium in Formula 1. McLaren started off the season with an honestly terrible car. However, the orange-colored cars had an exceptional race today. Lando Norris came in P5 and hometown hero Daniel Ricciardo finished in P6. Earlier this week, Daniel Ricciardo had stated that a top 10 finish was the goal for this weekend. Alex Albon had an interesting strategy this weekend. The Williams driver was sent to the back of the grid and he started in P20 after he failed to provide a fuel sample after the qualification session. However, he drove an incredible race and towards the end, he was in P6 without having entered the pits even once. However, drivers are required to pit at least once and he went into the pits in the penultimate lap. He finished the race in P10 and picked up a valuable 1 point for the team. The Green team had yet another disappointing weekend. Sebastian Vettel crashed out in the starting stages of the race following a disappointing weekend back in Formula 1 after being out with COVID-19. Lance Stroll finished in 12th. However, he received a 5-second penalty and he will receive further penalty points on his license for weaving his car on the straight while trying to defend. So the teams and the drivers now head over to Italy for the 4th round of the Formula 1 World Championship as they prepare for the iconic Monza circuit. So what was your highlight of the race? Do let us know in the comments below, and as always, stay tuned to Fervent Motorsports for more motorsport updates.